Constantius I, also known as Constantius Chlorus, was a pivotal figure in the late Roman Empire, playing a key role in the political and military landscape during the tumultuous 3rd and 4th centuries. His reign marked a transitional period between the crisis of the 3rd century and the eventual consolidation of the Roman Empire under the rule of his son Constantine the Great. Constantius was born around 250 AD in the region of Illyricum, which is in modern-day Croatia. His full name was Flavius Valerius Constantius, and he came from an obscure and modest background. Little is known about his early life, but he appears to have entered the Roman military early, where he made a name for himself as a capable officer. By the 270s, Constantius had risen through the ranks, gaining the trust of the Emperor Aurelian. Aurelian's reign was marked by efforts to restore the empire after the crisis of the 3rd century, a period of political instability, military anarchy, and external threats. Constantius's military prowess was instrumental in securing key victories for Aurelian, particularly in repelling barbarian invasions from the north and east. In 293 AD, Emperor Diocletian, seeking to stabilize the empire, introduced the tetrarchy system, a new form of governance in which power was divided among 4 rulers. Diocletian would serve as the senior emperor, Augustus, with 2 junior emperors, Caesars, beneath him. Constantius was appointed Caesar, a junior emperor, in the western part of the empire, overseeing Gaul, Britain, and Hispania. This appointment was part of Diocletian's broader strategy to manage the sprawling empire more efficiently. During his time as Caesar, Constantius was tasked with defending the western provinces from barbarian incursions and maintaining order. His greatest military success during this period was in Britain, where he conducted several campaigns against the Picts, Saxons, and other tribes. His victories in these regions enhanced his reputation and contributed to his eventual rise to higher office. Constantius's greatest claim to fame, however, came through his marriage to Helena, a woman of humble origins. Helena's son, Constantine, would later become one of the most famous emperors in Roman history. In 305 AD, Diocletian and his co-emperor Maximian, in accordance with the tetrarchic system, decided to retire from active rule, handing over power to their respective Caesars. Constantius became the Augustus of the Western Empire, assuming control of the western provinces, which were essential to the empire's economy and military strength. Despite his relatively modest background, Constantius's ascension to the position of Augustus was not without challenges. The empire was still plagued by internal divisions, and rivals such as the ambitious Galerius, who became Augustus in the east, presented potential threats to Constantius's reign. However, Constantius proved a cautious and skilled ruler, maintaining stability in the western half of the empire and continuing to focus on military and administrative reforms. As Augustus, Constantius continued his military campaigns, particularly in the northern and western provinces. One of his major tasks was defending the borders of the empire against the rising threat of barbarian invasions. He successfully repelled several incursions from Germanic tribes along the Rhine and the Danube, earning him the respect of his troops and the imperial court. In addition to his military duties, Constantius also worked to solidify his power by securing key alliances with other Roman leaders, such as his co-emperor Galerius. However, despite their political alignment, the relationship between the two emperors was often tense. This tension would come to a head following Constantius's death, as his son, Constantine's claim to power, was contested by Galerius and other rivals. Constantius II died in 306 AD at York in Britain, reportedly due to illness. His death, however, marked the beginning of a significant shift in Roman imperial politics. Before his death, Constantius had made it clear that his son Constantine should succeed him as ruler of the western provinces. In a bold move, Constantine was proclaimed Augustus by the troops in Britain. Although his status as emperor was not immediately recognized by all quarters of the empire, Constantine's eventual rise to power would change the course of Roman history. Constantius's legacy lies not only in his military successes and governance, but also in the role he played in setting the stage for Constantine the Great. Constantine, who would later become the first Christian emperor of Rome, owed much of his political and military success to his father's influence and the stability that Constantius had secured during his reign. The victory of Constantine over his rivals and his eventual reunification of the empire would bring an end to the tetrarchic system and pave the way for a new phase in Roman history, one defined by the Christianization of the empire and the transformation of the Roman world. In conclusion, Constantius I, Chlorus, played an essential role in the restoration of stability to the Roman Empire during a period of internal strife and external threats. His reign helped to preserve the Western Empire long enough for his son, Constantine, to rise to power and eventually transform the empire. Though not as famous as his son, Constantius's contributions were vital to the survival and future success of the Roman Empire in the 4th century,